Hey Jude, come and have a look at this. I think this is the nicest thing I've ever seen from the decks of Fair Isle.
My goodness, it's magnificent.
Incredible, isn't it? It's just the shape and the colour of it. It's just amazing.
It's lovely, beautiful.
Yeah.
The way it catches the light.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that.
And the logo.
Yeah, logo's great.
It's great. Hello and welcome to Montenegro, where spring is in the air.
Certainly is. We're sitting here at anchor, lapping it up. And if you've been following along, you'll know that must mean we've got all the new rigging on, which we have. And we've got a new furler as well, a new Furlex unit, which is hiding behind the old one. I don't think you can see it, but take my word for it, it's absolutely brilliant. So you can pull it in by hand, which we've just done today coming in here.
So much easier.
It's great.
And we have a new sail as well.
Yeah, I can't run it over. We've got loads of toys to play with.
I hope you like the film.
Coming up, testing out our new Yankee. There's nothing quite like a brand new sail. Re-rigging the boat, getting ready for next year's ocean crossing. And planning our route for season 5. Time to negotiate the ever-increasing Schengen travel zone. Fair Isle is long overdue a rigging makeover. Her trademark baggy wrinkles need washing. Foils need measuring and cutting. And new stays need slotting into place. It's the most important and tricky job we've ever undertaken. And key to getting it right is working with the best rigger.
So how do you find a rigger you can trust? Well, look for the hardest race in the world, a race using cruising boats like ours, and see who the best sailors in the world choose to work on their boats.
This is SV Puffin, currently racing non-stop around the world, captained by Ian Herbert Jones. The boat has been rigged by Jade, who also worked on other boats in the Golden Globe race. Without a crane, Jade is rigging Fair Isle the hard way. Everything needs to be replaced, inspected and tuned.
Like everything, there's a threshold. So, I mean, if you can move it with between your thumb and your finger, say 20-30 mil when she's powered up, you know, that's acceptable. If it's 4 inches, then or 100 mil, that's not acceptable at all. And then something needs doing. And you can also eyeball up the mast, again when she's powered up and moving through the waves. If you can see the top of the mast falling away to the leeward side, that's an indication that, you know, something needs tuning.
The technical video will go through all the details. We'll look at what equipment we chose, like these really neat bottle screws from Sta-Lok. Jade will show you the right way to assemble their compression fittings.
See, that's classic, straight in there.
And you'll see what's involved in a full re-rig. Spoiler alert, if you're doing it mast up, it's more work than you think. We're changing our main roller furler as well, and we've done a lot of research on what to replace it with. Having a reliable and easy to furl system is one of the key areas to stress-free sailing, I think. Only a couple of furling systems made it to our shortlist, but Seldén's Furlex system's top bearing is just a work of art. You can't really go with anyone else after seeing that. This system is made to run smooth.
And not just the bearings, I mean the whole kind of setup, the foil itself has got essentially a bearing that runs from top to bottom around the wire. They act as a spacer, but also it's kind of a much smoother run. Nicer on the wire and the furler.
We also need to make sure our new foresail will fit. Just looking at the fantastic shape is pretty exciting.
We just want to make sure that we're happy with the setup, really. So the foot's clearing the rail. Sheeting angle, because it's a new sail for you. Added tension, and then in a minute I'll go up and pick a position for the deflector.
The real test, of course, is out on the water. We are very nearly ready.
So final job before we go out, I'm just going to rebed all these chain plates. I just loosened them all off before we did the rigging because, I mean, although this is all pretty solid on Fair Isle, you can get some movement in it when you take all the tension off it and just open up a gap in there. So I'll just clean it up a bit. And I use this stuff, which is this Builtard tape. I think it's better than Sikaflex for this sort of stuff. You just put it straight down there and then just cut around the edges when it's on. And it should give a good seal, which of course is very important for these chain plates. You don't want water getting down there and causing any sort of corrosion.
Really, every boat should have a roll of this stuff on board. How many times have you had something need rebedding and found the leftover bit of Sikaflex has gone hard? This stuff stores for years and is mess free. You can also get it where it really needs to go. I stick it to the face of the chain plate as well as the tow rail. Leave the paper in place until you've got it in position, and then you can just push it round the edges. With the back done as well, you can just mould it round, then just push the fitting down and screw it in lightly. I tend to just then bead up all the edges around it. Of course, you can just go around it with a knife and cut off the excess before you screw it down hard.
Not much wind for the first time of use, but that's okay. You can see the sides of it at least. It's all looking really good. I think the other thing we've got to do back here, we had a slight mistake. Well, it's not a mistake because we just didn't know, because we hadn't picked the furler at the stage, so we didn't know which size of bolt rope it needed. And this one, actually the Seldén one, the Furlex furler here, takes 6 mil, and we've got 5 mil that we specified in the sail when we had it made, because we didn't really know what we were going to end up with, and that sort of seemed like a good guess. So it's close enough. It fits in there okay, but there's a chance that, you know, in a really strong wind, it could just sort of peel out from the bottom here. So what I can do is get a bit of Dyneema strapping and strap that in there, so it makes that a bit better. And then when we get to a sailmaker, I can get them to take this boat rope out and put a 6 mil one in if we think that's necessary. It's fairly easy to do, and I can make it exactly the right length then as well, and all that sort of thing. So yeah, but apart from that, I mean, look at this. What a lovely sail. Come on, wind. So we're very happy with the Yankee that we got from Precision, so we're definitely going to go ahead and get a new staysail, a new mainsail. So first thing to do is do the measuring. Got a nice bit of space here on the pier, so we can stretch it out and get that done.
Okay, 1192.
The staysail is the smallest of our 3 sails, so we'll try to time it so it and the new mainsail can be delivered to Gibraltar. That is, if our summer sailing goes according to plan. But making a plan in the Mediterranean is not easy.
Okay, time has come. Let's get the chart out. Right. What are we going to do this season?
Well, we are leaving Montenegro and heading west.
Yep, definitely doing that. But is it plan A, staying more time in the Med, or plan B, going straight across the Atlantic?
To be honest, a few months ago, I thought plan A really had it, because there are some options as to how you can stay longer than your 90 days out of 180.
You've been researching, haven't you? What have you found?
Okay, right, let's take a look. France has a long stay visa. the upside is that you can stay for up to 6 months. The downside is, even their own website says it's difficult to get and it is very time consuming. And from our point of view, we would have to go back to the UK to apply in the French embassy in London. And then they take our passports, then it would take probably 6 weeks. And what do we do with the boat in the interim? So I went off that idea. Portugal, similar story. There is a long-term visa that you can get, but again, you have to prove your income, you have to prove various different things. You have to go to the UK, apply in the Portuguese embassy, big problem. But the other one is Spain, the digital nomad visa. It's something that other countries have successfully implemented. It's largely for people who work on land for a company where they can work remotely, so you have to prove that you work for a company. But I asked a Spanish lawyer, I was getting a lawyer by this time, I asked a Spanish lawyer what she thought of us working remotely from the boat, doing the YouTube channel. And I'm afraid she hasn't got back to me. I think
But it seems like it would fit. It's a digital nomad visa. I mean, that's what we do. We earn money from the internet. And is that not going to work for us?
Not enough.
We don't earn enough money from it, probably.
Not enough money. So
Okay.
it's a, I don't know, I've been talking to people, I've been researching on the internet, I've been talking to lawyers, but everyone here's got the same problem. Everyone is playing this kind of Schengen game.
You better run for your life. First up, Ian and Kate on Intrepid Bear. They have quite a story.
We came across the Med from Gibraltar to here with no Schengen time, using what the right of innocent passage, which under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, you are entitled to sail through any territorial waters of another country as long as you're making an innocent passage, so you're not a warship, you're not doing anything untoward. And that also extends to the right to anchor so far as navigationally necessary. So we took that to mean we could anchor off countries if it was navigationally necessary. So if we were worn out, if the weather was bad, and we did that on the way across. But I have heard that right of innocent passage, if you try to use that in Croatia or Albania, and likewise Montenegro, then you're likely to get fined because they don't seem to recognise it, even though they're signatories to that. They will fine you for coming into their waters and anchoring if you don't come straight and check in.
But significantly, you can't get off the boat.
No, not
And
at
we'd
all.
only be provisioned for 10 days. I mean, thinking that would be enough, to get across. But the weather was, we hoped, but the weather was such that, it took us 28 days.
We probably wouldn't be leaving the Med if it wasn't for Schengen, because we might have gone back to Portugal, or we might have stayed closer to the entrance to the Med. It's just been such a rush the whole time that we've been here, because we're always on that 3-month clock.
It's 9 months out, 3 months in is how it's starting to feel to us. There's only certain places you can go out, and you end up spending the winter and half a season there and 3 months cruising.
So what's your conclusion?
It's just not working. It just doesn't work for people who want to travel.
Yeah,
No.
it's not unworkable. We've decided to leave the Med because we didn't want to be so far from home and stuff, but it is very difficult. You can't spend, the EU is now so big, or the Schengen zone is now so big, that it's ridiculous that it's only 3 months for any third country national, and is too much to see in 3 months.
And that is the problem. The Schengen zone is so big, particularly in the Western Med, with more countries joining all the time. Great if you are part of the EU, but not so good for cruisers like us who are not.
You've got to plot it out, you've got to really think about each stage and how long it's going to take and how much time you're going to commit to each stage in the Schengen area, because we've only got 3 months. So we, for example, are going to go to Italy, and then we're going to come back and spend probably 3 weeks in Albania, just to get out of Schengen for a while and just let the season progress a bit from May when we leave, and then travel across Greece to get to Turkey by early August.
It's called the Schengen Shuffle, and you have to have a plan.
Disrupting. It slows you down and it makes you think of where you got to head.
And what are you going to do?
We're going to Turkey because we can get a residency there with a marina booking. Yeah.
So how are you going to spend your 3 months that you're allowed in Schengen?
In Greece. Yeah. So we'll spend some time in Greece and then make our way through to Turkey.
Thank you to our neighbours for giving us those insights. It is a sad and sorry tale, isn't it, Schengen? I don't know what to say about it, really.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a story, and It's not great, so what are we going to do?
Well, I think Plan B has become Plan A, isn't it? We could just go straight out.
Yeah.
We're not free of it going straight
In
out.
our 90 days.
In our 90 days, yes,
Yeah,
because you've still got to
okay.
do it in 90 days.
Yeah.
But if you did it directly in 90 days, you are going pretty fast through. I mean, we wouldn't be able to get to sort of Corsica, the south of France, all those places we missed on the way. And so it'd be a real shame. So if we can stop off and gain some time back, then we can spend more time in the Med, because there's no rush to get out. We need to get to the Canaries really for November, so that we can cross probably after Christmas. So yes, I mean, if we went straight out, we'd be going out in August, so that wouldn't be so good. So I think we should take the trick that Intrepid Bear had and use the Rite of Innocent Passage. We could come along the bottom of Italy and around Sicily, just not going ashore, and get to Malta. Now, Malta are pretty lenient with stamping. Some people say, well, it's fine, you go in there and they don't start the Schengen clock in Malta. They don't really want to be part of it. So if that's true, then that's great. If it's not, then we could actually go from there to Tunisia. You've looked at some places in Tunisia, haven't you?
Yeah, no, they're nice anchorages. People have spoken highly of the place. So yeah,
but we can go in there, check in, and have that taking off our Schengen time, going back some Schengen time, and then we might have enough to go up around Sardinia, because we only ever touched the bottom of that on the way in. Corsica, south of France, maybe
really like
even.
Sardinia, definitely go.
Oh yeah, it's lovely. And then back through the Balearics, and out from there. And then of course we've got Gibraltar.
Yep.
You've got Morocco, but you're pretty much out by then.
Yep.
Tangier is supposed to be, there's a new marina there, isn't there? It's supposed to be quite nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably our best option, and just try and see.
And anchor as much as possible.
Anchor as much as possible, see where we can stop, and if we need to gain back the time in Tunisia, do that.
Yeah. But if anyone else has got any ideas, we've got the map out. We're open-minded, I think, at this stage.
Meanwhile, Montenegro is proving a good place to winter, and some cruisers here are staying for a second season. And talking of seasons, it's time for a bit of racing. A 3-day regatta with local 4-person crews competing in J70s provided by the Marina Yacht Club. Some of the spectators bring their own transport, but we stick to the rib and wait for the breeze to get up. The tension is mounting.
Well, they're just getting ready to start now. The wind's got up. It's still flat water. It's quite exciting.
Wow.
And then the breeze drops again. I know, racing isn't about the taking part, it's about the winning. And over 3 days there's going to be plenty of wind. But sometimes, just being on a small boat, surrounded by the Montenegrin mountains, is perfect.
Yes, it really is lovely on the water here, especially when the sun comes out.
Yeah, it was a bit of a relaxing days racing, that one, but the wind did come up on the other days, and they really fly, those J70s. It looks like good fun, don't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But we had to get back to the boat and get things finished. The rigging is now done.
Yeah, rigging's done. So thank you for Jade for coming out and working really. I mean, he was up and down that mast so many times. It's not the easiest way to do a re-rig. If you had a crane and you can do it on the ground, it would be an easy way of doing it. But we will have a special report that goes through the whole thing, maybe even 2 videos I'm doing at the moment. Be with the patrons by the end of the week, I think. Don't know when exactly they're going to go out, but yeah, I'll go through the whole process, and also the process with the sail as well, because that worked really well for us, that whole process of designing it and getting it, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You just send in the measurements, chat online, and then your sail arrives. I mean, I can't think of anything easier, really.
Yeah.
And we'll have to work out where we can get the other 2 delivered.
But it's getting the advice from them, you know, because it's a 2-way thing, so you can really sort of chat through things and look at at the design online and just, yeah, get it exactly how you want it. And which has worked out perfectly for us. So
I love the logo.
yeah, yes, yeah, we didn't know they were going to put the logo on there, so that was very good. So yes, we've got to get on with the measuring, as you see, the other sails. We've got the main still to do, get that done before we leave here,
Yep.
and then hopefully we can pick it up before we actually do the Atlantic crossing.
Yes, no, I think that would be the idea.
Yeah.
That would be great. So we're aiming for Gibraltar to have a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Maybe even lift the boat there before we go across.
Yeah.
But we have got some time in Europe now.
We have. Yeah, with the Schengen shuffle, we'll
Yeah.
do what we can. Malta might work out in our favour to sort of start the clock later if we can do that and not get stamped through.
Yep.
We'll see how that works. But yeah, we want to explore the bits we haven't explored of the Med as much as we can before we get down to the Canaries. And yes, we will have to get the boat out to at least clean the bottom because
Yes.
she's going to be more than 2 years by the time we get
Yeah,
to
no, exactly.
the Canaries, and I don't want to quite
Yeah.
go across the Atlantic like that.
So I'm looking forward to season 5. Season 5, I can hardly believe it.
Yeah.
We've been doing it that long. But yeah, looking forward to season 5. So I hope you'll stay with us. Thank you very much to our patrons and our subscribers, and thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.